All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Two Bros Podcast, episode 2. Technically 3, but we'll talk about that. I am your first co-host with the most, Sir William, and joining with me today is once again Sir Riley. How are we doing this afternoon?
I'm alright, how are you?
How am I? I am tired. We spoke a little bit before the podcast, but I've slept about 2 hours, with this being my day off, so trying to make the most of it, if you will.
Welcome to adulthood.
Into adulthood. Yeah, no fucking kidding. So I guess we should address probably why there wasn't a podcast last week. Some stuff came up.
I work nights.
Yeah, that's all you have to say. Yeah, stuff came up. He just needed to get some sleep, so I tried to pull in a guest, and I did. We recorded, and he's a co-host on another podcast, so he has experience editing his own audio and stuff like that. So he was like, "If you're cool with it, I'll just edit my audio and send it over to you." And I was like, "Yeah, cool, that's fine." But he also kind of works like 12s, so he works these long like 3 to 3 type deals. So kind of the same thing happened. He got busy and just didn't get time. So that's going to be in the backlog. Once I have that, I'm going to throw it all together, and it'll be an extra episode sometime in the next few weeks, hopefully. But we're hoping to get back on track, starting with this one. Going to throw it all together tonight, which is Thursday, and hopefully have it out tomorrow sometime in the afternoon, before I go to work, preferably. But yeah, so that's addressing that elephant in the room. So anything new or interesting happened in the last 2 weeks that you care to share?
Now I feel like I talked about too much of GTRP in the first episode, so I'm going to leave that subject where that's at. No shit in there, but I will send you a link for the Discord for the city if anybody that does play 5M wants to join. They're more than welcome. It's non-whitelist, so.
Yeah, I told whenever I recorded that episode and I put it out, I talked to a few people about like what we were talking about, and we talked about GTA RP, and they found it interesting. I mean,
I told you.
I mean, it was interesting. I had a few laughs about it. I mean, it's really just it's a conundrum. I don't really know what more to say about it. You thought you could just RP in GTA free roam, but then you go and download this other client. It's a whole new world.
And on to the GTA 5 RP tangent.
Alright, yeah. Well,
might as well.
Well, I mean, if you don't want to go into it, I've got a list of stuff here that I can just graze through. So I made a list in the last 2 weeks of just stuff that I was thinking about, stuff I did, whatnot.
Oh God. This might be a rated R podcast this week.
No, yeah, right. Well, I guess we can start off with something funny. Have you ever tried to catch a dart before? Like a dart, like a dart with a metal tip. Like you've never tried that?
No.
Okay, well, now I feel kind of stupid. So,
you should.
There was a point in time. My girlfriend has a dartboard, and I was just kind of messing around, just hanging out, and
were you intoxicated?
No, I wasn't. I was actually really sober, but I just have this like instinct of trying to catch things that are falling. And so in this scenario, it just so happened to be a dart, and of course the metal is heavier than the plastic, so the metal is going to come down first, and I had my palm out flat, and my fingers are pretty spread, so even if I didn't catch it in my hand, I thought I would catch the fins. No, it went straight into my hand, like into my middle finger, I think it was. That was kind of funny. It was sticking in my hand for like a solid 5 seconds before I decided to pull it out. And I still couldn't tell you what. Yeah, I guess. I don't really know what the context behind that is. What's the first for what?
Pulling a dart out of your hand.
Oh, yeah. And I hope it's the last, but I don't really...
It's
really
probably
say.
not.
God, I can't really say. But that was something... I think that happened the day of my birthday, so that's something I could talk about. I turned 22 in the last 2 weeks. Since we last spoke, I grew up in a whole year. How do you feel?
I feel old.
You feel well. You're not that much older than me, to be fair.
Yeah, but
But you just gonna leave it at that.
yeah.
All right, that's fair. I had a little shindig for my birthday. It wasn't anything like crazy. Um, we just had it at like my girlfriend's place. Invited a few people over that I know that you more or less don't mingle with well. I mean, of not including like Dustin.
I assume
But
they didn't show up.
they did. So the friends of mine that showed up, they roof. So they typically go, and I've worked with them before, but stuff might have changed. So bear with me. They like to do their jobs pretty early. Like they get up around 5 or 6 and they go. And when I worked with them, we did our first day from like 7 to 5, and I guess they must have started later because they showed up at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And I had bought drinks and stuff, so we were just hanging out and everything. And because they had worked that day, they were just so exhausted, so they didn't stick around for long. But Dustin got there first, and we kind of all just talked and caught up. And then we started playing Mario Tennis. And that's how we finished out the night. Is we played Mario Tennis on the Switch. With by the way, that's a really fun game to play, multiplayer. I think we'll have to play that because it's pretty gas.
Oh dear God! Please never say that again.
Oh, you should hear what I've been saying when I'm like
this is
gaming.
why I don't like when you hang out with these kids.
Like you should they don't even say that. It's
okay. Try to tell me Dustin does not say that.
Okay, Dustin does.
Exactly.
But like, the other guys don't. But
they were probably there for half an hour and then went home.
No, it was like 2 hours. We played Pong, hung out, drank, had some pizza, stuff like that. What was I gonna say? Like, you think that's bad? Like the last 2 nights I've been gaming for some reason, I've been unironically saying like that's tight. Like, you know, I and I feel so stupid saying it because one of the guys that I game with unironically says swag, and I kind of laughed at it because I thought he was joking at first, and then he was like, "What?" He's like, that's a genuine term in my vocabulary," and I was like, you know, like me too, honestly. Like, I can't really deny it. I just thought that was funny. What else? So that wasn't anything crazy.
No.
I'm starting to get a backlog on my YouTube channel finally. That's something I've been working on diligently. The last few days I've been recording, so I'm hoping to have a few weeks worth of stuff built up. Dude, I'm gonna go and do a grocery store change because sometimes I hate my job so much. What is like
context?
Well, I was gonna ask you, what is like the most like dumb bullshit grocery store experience that you've had, like in the position that you've been in or that you're currently in? Like, what's one of the worst experiences you've had as a employee?
With a coworker or with a customer?
Let's do customer because the customers are the worst in most cases.
I was on my day off, a girl that I slept with that we talked about when we went and saw that comedian in Indy.
Oh, yeah?
The stuff that chick ghosted me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple months later, I'm at the store with my daughter, and she's got this heavier friend that's never liked me, which I don't know why. Probably because I was, I think, 3 years older than this chick. But, her friend made the throw up sound as she walked past me and my daughter in the store. I was off the clock, I was getting groceries. And the bigger chick's mom works at the store with me. And after she made the throw up noise, I go, "Excuse you." And she just gave me a shitty look. But Other than that, I mean, people, when I was doing the e-commerce stuff, just old people not getting out of my way when I was trying to get groceries for the e-commerce. But and that, I really don't. Occasionally, we'll have an idiot late at night since I work thirds now. That will come in at fucking 11 or 10:55, get an entire cart worth of groceries, and somehow between the time they came in the store and the time they got to checkout in the 5 minutes lost their EBT card, and then we get stuck putting all that shit back.
Oh my god, I can't stand that. When people, we have the same thing happen sometimes where they'll come in, maybe not necessarily right before close, but they'll just come in and they have like a whole cart full of groceries, like they're shopping for a week or two, and then they're like, either they don't have their card or they don't have enough money, and they're like, oh, well, can I just leave this here and I'll be right back? And so we get everything set up to where they can just come back, scan a receipt, and then they pay for it. But then they don't. And so there's just a whole like cart full of stuff that just has to go back. It's awful.
We normally just fucking leave it and let Days deal with it because it's really not our problem. But
you're like, man, I'm just stalking. Like, I don't want to deal with this.
But no. And then with employees, over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, we've had 2 people test positive for COVID, and there's 8 of us on our night stock crew. 2 people are off every night, normally. So when we have a person out for 5 days with COVID, that's 3 people off on 2 nights. Most nights, 3 people off. So last Thursday, it was me and the backup lead running an 18-skid truck by ourselves.
So when you say the 18 skid, you just mean that's all like so not like your freezers or your like anything to refill your coolers?
No, that comes on a separate truck. That is just our dry grocery stuff, like crackers, chips, condiments, flour, cereal, fruit snacks, toilet paper, dog food, detergent, stuff like that. 18 individual skids, and keep in mind, there's between 100 and 150 pieces on each skid, and we had 18 of them.
God. Yeah, I don't have to deal with anything like crazy like that, at least when it comes to big trucks. I mean, mainly I work nights, which is kind of funny because you work nights and you or offload, but then I work nights and I
work manage. Actual nights. You work afternoons.
Evenings. We'll call it evenings because I'm there until...
What time do you go into work?
Like 2, but...
But what time... when is that in relevancy to 12 o'clock?
I mean, just 2 hours after, but you could say the same thing about, like, 5 o'clock. Like, oh, look, it's 5 hours afternoon.
That's late afternoon.
It's still, but see, you still use the term afternoon. See, big brain. You gotta think smarter, not harder.
Right.
Something I'm not good at. No, I was just gonna say, like, oh my god, old people. You mentioned that, and I can just think of so many instances just that happened like yesterday for old people. There's a woman, so where I work, and this is probably just a dead giveaway as to what company I work for when I say this, but
I think it was mentioned in the first episode, but
maybe I did, but we keep all of our stuff in boxes. In the boxes they come in. And so I had this older woman, she wanted this like salmon, and there's at least 40, there's like it's like a flat box, and it has 48 cans of salmon in it, and she wanted the whole case. And
that's a lot of fucking salmon.
There's people, like, when I tell you that there's people that come in and they buy like literal cases of stuff.
Yeah, it's because of how cheap your guys' shit is.
It's true. I mean, we've just now finally had some stuff start going down, but we also supply chicken to some of our local restaurants around here. And when they come in for it, it's like $600 worth of chicken for like per restaurant. Like, and sometimes they do it every 2 or 3 days. It's actually insane how much like these people come in and buy. Even just like normal people. There's people that come in that shop once every 6 months. Like, and they buy $400 worth of food and they disappear for the next half a year. It's bonkers to me. But I had oh god, I'm trying to think of a few instances that people just tick me off. Of course, I mentioned that we keep stuff in boxes, so my job at night basically is I run around and I have to make sure that I pick up all the empty boxes, make sure that everything gets like pulled forward in terms of items in the box and the boxes. And so there's a few particular people that they'll come in and one of them doesn't even speak fucking English. Like, I mean, not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, I can't really reason with this person because of that. And she'll come in, and we have some of these, like, bigger cereal boxes that have, like, 8 to 10 units in them. She'll come in, and she won't even look for an empty box. She'll go straight for this one particular section, go for one particular cereal, take all 10 units out of it, and then just throw them. Like, she'll just, like, throw them behind the shelf and walk away. Like, I've watched her do it, and I can't do anything about it. Yeah. And it irks me.
Yeah, I get that.
Now, do you have any coworker stories, like, that irritate? Like, what's the most irritating coworker story you have? Because I think I have at least one or two.
I don't have much, but we just have a huge problem with lack of communication on my stock crew. So,
I feel that.
But I really don't have any. I mean, I have some, but I'd rather keep them to myself just in case this ever gets big and they do hear it. Then I don't have to worry about them. But.
Right, and when I say stuff like I have like irks about coworkers, I mean no disrespect. It's purely from a business standpoint because I love everybody that I work with.
Oh, we have. I do have one that's known. He knows it. We have a dude that does not shower on our stock crew. I don't think he's showered in the 46 years he's been a human.
46 years? Oh my god!
And he smells worse than a landfill.
That's nasty.
This odor will take your breath away. And it's one of them odors you can, if you get stuck, like if you're, I know you have a baler, which you throw your boxes in after you break them down.
Right.
And, if you get stuck walking down our back hallway behind him, and because our back hallway is pretty long, there's been days where it's so bad you can fucking taste it.
Ooh, you can taste it?
Yeah, and it's bad. Like, I'd rather sit in a bathroom that's covered in shit than stand next to this dude for 10 minutes.
Wow, it's that bad?
It's that bad.
We had a guy like that too. Whenever I got hired in, and then within a month or so, we hired in like 3 or 4 people, and one of them was this dude. He couldn't have been much older than us, and apparently I never was around him that much, so I never got to really experience it. But apparently he smelled like a dead rat. Like apparently it was that bad, and he ended up getting fired because apparently he had made like some kind of rude compliment. A rude.
How do you make a rude compliment?
Yeah, that's not what I meant. Like a rude remark, I think, is what I meant to say. But he also I thought he was a cool guy. Like he came from I don't even remember where it was, and he just seemed like a pretty down to earth guy. But he just didn't do his work the way he should have. We have an older gentleman. I love him to death. He's the sweetest guy. Like I think I've ever met from the town that's north of us. Like the nicest guy I've ever met, but he's just he's slow when it comes to like ringing, and when that's like the one thing that you do all the time, it's kind of hard on like the lead. So whenever like they start getting a line, they buzz us up with like a doorbell thing or whatever, and sometimes if it's a busier day, like I can't get done what I have to get done because I'm constantly up there trying to help him out. But he cleans really well. Like he does everything super well. He's a good people person. Yeah, and then we have a younger guy. I don't know if you've seen him. He just recently moved, I think, to where the city your dad lives in now. And for the first 2 weeks, he didn't tell anybody. So he just kept showing up 15 to 30 minutes late, and nobody had any idea why. And then finally he told everybody, but then he was like, "Yeah, I think I need to like actually transfer to the city that I live in now because this is becoming unbearable." So
Like, he was showing up because he wasn't leaving till he... Because I know how far it is from your store to just the town my dad lives in.
yeah, he says it takes him like 45 minutes to an hour, which I don't know what part of it he lives in.
It should take him... if he lives on the back side, the far side, I see that. But, what is he leaving when he's supposed to be clocking in?
I mean, I don't know. Like he mainly works in the morning. I mean, when he works nights with me, which that's a whole nother story. He gets there on time, but we have to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I guess there's times where like the assistant managers have been there at 7, and 5-10 minutes pass, and they're starting to think that they're gonna have to throw the entire truck alone because he doesn't show up. And mind you, like we only throw truck with 2 people. I mean, we don't have nearly as big of a truck as you guys do, of course, but still, it's mainly like the management typically deals with like the cooler and the meat, and the associate deals with the freezer and the dry pallets. So like for him not to show up, that's an extra at least 4 to 6, 7 pallets on top of the 4 pallets they already have.
Yeah.
And if they don't show up, like they have to ring too, so it would be impossible for them to get that done by the time that I get there at 2. And and he's a hard worker. He doesn't like working nights. Of course I briefly passed over that. He kind of just gets this like, and I guess he's been going through some stuff. I think him and his girlfriend recently split up, and that's why he had to move and stuff. So I understand, but like he just didn't like working nights just because he didn't like being there at night. Like, and it would show with like his performance and his cleaning and stuff like that. And it was kind of unfortunate. Can't think of anyone or anyone else. I like I said, I really like everybody I work with. Like it's a bunch of like 35-year-old women that have kids and families, so I just feel like out of place. But they're really funny.
You'll have some one day.
Do what?
Kids in a family.
Oh well, maybe one of these days.
Don't rush it. That's all I got to say is do not rush it.
Believe me, I don't think that either of us in this relationship currently is wanting to rush it. Speaking of, I guess I can briefly mention it. My lovely girlfriend is in Spain right now, and I am in Spain without the S.
On that note, this has been great. Good to see a podcast die on episode 2.
What?
That was terrible.
What? The joke? Is that what you're talking about?
It was terrible.
That's a dad joke. I thought it'd be right up your alley. Like,
it is a dad joke, but when you're not a dad, it just doesn't make sense.
Oh, come on.
I'm dead serious. You can say all the dad jokes and they just won't make sense. But if I were to say them, it makes sense. And I don't understand it either, why it's like that.
I mean, I understand dad jokes without having to be a parent. Like,
you can understand dad jokes without being a dad, but when you say a dad joke as a non-father, it just doesn't hit like as a dad saying it. Is more or less what I'm getting at.
Any dads that watch us, feel free to comment below your favorite dad joke. We want to read them off in the next podcast.
Yeah.
What else did I have? So, she's gone for like 2 weeks, so it's kind of giving me some free time to do some extra like recording and stuff like that, which is kind of nice. It'll just be nice to see her come back. Oh, real quick, just revisiting the grocery store thing, because you see like a plethora of people there. I mean, you know that.
Yeah.
I don't ever want like you or anyone like that I know to ever call themselves fat again because and no disrespect, but like oh my god, there are some people that like I don't understand how they survive.
We have
Um
this chick that comes into my. I saw her 2 nights ago when I went in. This chick, on a bad day, probably weighs like 350.
oh
Right?
god.
But she proceeds to not wear any boulder holders. Right? Well, one day, when I was a bagger, keep in mind this was 5 years ago, it scarred me that fucking bad. I don't know if she went and did something and sweat or something before she came in to buy her groceries. Her
Ooh,
shirt was
no.
fucking see-through.
Ew.
I was like, I'm taking my retirement now, and I went to break. Bro, I about threw up my mouth. It was
Nasty.
Awful. But yeah, she probably she's a couponer, so more than likely she comes into your store as well.
I mean, probably if I like saw the face, I might recognize it. But it's just like I don't know. Like I feel bad, right? Like being obese.
Okay, there's a
like,
difference between being fat and being obese. People that are fat know that they're fat. They choose that lifestyle. And being obese is they solve everything with eating. Oh, I hate my body. I'm fat. I'm just going to eat more and make myself more fat. See what I'm getting at?
Well, that's so that's an interesting subject too because I think both are a choice. Let me if I can figure out. There's a TLC.
Not necessarily. It's my 600-pound life is what you're thinking of.
Well, I mean, like I understand if you have certain health conditions, right? Maybe you can't exercise or something like that, but you can at least eat healthy.
So, for instance, between the two of us, I probably eat way better than you do. I'm a lot bigger than you are. Well, not a lot. I'm probably double you. Right? Maybe double you. And okay, when I say I eat better than you, I eat meals. I don't eat Pringles and snack food all the damn time.
Okay, well that's a little hurtful, but continue.
But for instance, the reason why you've been small your entire life is because you have a good metabolism system.
Yeah, my metabolism is pretty well. Mind you,
mine is terrible.
Just for reference, up until 2019, so throughout the entirety of high school and a year after, I weighed 120 pounds. Like, I was a feather. And now I weigh 180. So it's kind of better.
Okay, I don't weigh double you.
Yeah, well, I'm
not even close to double you, because in high school, after junior year, I weighed 200 all the way up until senior year. I weigh 220 now. I fluctuate between 200 and 220. I don't know how.
See, that's not even that bad because like it's realistically like your weight is about like
and really
like your
all
height
I'd have
and stuff
to
like
do is just walk. I do certain things and I could lose my stomach fat that I have now, but
I mean, the only reason that I actually gained weight and it was like healthy weight was because I started working out. Working out like made a huge difference. And I think it'd be fun if we found a gym somewhere that was cheap and went or made like a home gym.
Definitely, but it's just the fact that I personally don't see, especially the gym that you go to, that to me that's a scam. What you pay a month is a scam.
Yeah, I'm canceling that because I'm not a big fan. And there's rumors that there's a Planet Fitness coming. So I would rather spend the $10 a month.
You're also getting ready to move to one town that has a Planet Fitness anyways.
Yeah, exactly. My girlfriend and my girlfriend has a membership, so I think I'll test it out. Like her and I'll go and see how I like it. Because I've heard rumors like they don't have any like free weights above 25 pounds, and there's the lunk alarm. I don't know. So I want to at least test it out before.
Yeah,
but
but how often are you picking up and doing curls with more than 35 pounds and just dropping them on the ground?
well, you don't have to do just curls with dumbbells. You can do like chest
Okay,
press and.
I just thought of the first exercise that came to mind.
No, I get it, but just like yeah, and I guess Planet Fitness isn't for like hardcore fitness goers. I could be wrong. Like I don't want to. I really don't want to like put words into people's mouths because there's probably plenty of fit people that go to Planet Fitness and they love it and they don't need.
Okay, for instance, it's like pairing Best Buy and Micro Center.
I don't even know what Micro Center is.
It's primarily just computers. I think they sell TVs, but Best Buy is primarily electronics that you just TVs, sound, stereos, consoles, computers. Micro Center is purely focused around computer components and stuff like that. Which I'd like to go to one. I don't know where the nearest one is to us. Probably hecka far away, but
is that? Did you remember Fry's? Because didn't the Fry's in?
Me and you went to Fry's. It's kind of like Fry's, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I loved Fry's. I'm really sad that the closest one to us, to my knowledge, it doesn't exist anymore.
Nope,
what?
It's gone.
It's so sad. Fry's was great.
It's because we went to it once, I think, at least, right?
Yeah, I've been on my own once or twice too, because I had family that lived up there.
But literally, you could go in there on what would be any normal like busy time for a computer business, and there'd be maybe 5 people in there. There'd be more employees than customers.
Are you still talking about Fry's, or are you talking about?
Yeah, Fry's.
Wow, I mean, to be fair, I guess it's a thing of like, you know, it's a place you have to have money to go to realistically, because if you're buying components, because they sold appliances also.
Oh,
but
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
Ohio's the nearest Micro Center to us.
How?
Over by Cincinnati, an hour and a half from where we're at.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
I'm on vacation the week of my birthday. If you want to go up there, if we can, I don't care. I can't spend any money, but I probably will.
Or I was thinking about taking a hiking trip over to. You ever heard of Hocking Hills? I feel like I've talked to you about it.
Probably.
It's I've went with family. It's been like, you know, it's funny you mentioned 5 years ago. It's probably about the same for me. I've just been wanting to do something. Cause I go to my metal festival, which I guess I could talk about that too. But I go in July to Mansfield. So I've been wanting to do something a little bit fun before that, because that's just going to be a weekend of awesome music and thrashing 40-year-old men. So I don't know.
Alright, what you do with your 40-year-old men is what you do with your 40-year-old men.
I didn't. Did I even tell you about like what happened last year when I went?
I think you said something about your girlfriend. If that's what you're talking about.
Oh, that was, I think, a different concert. Which I guess, have you been to any concerts? I think we've talked about this, but
no.
have you? I mean, I know we've talked about going to like
Logic. Logic and Post Malone and maybe Jack Harlow would be about the only 2 ones we could go together, because those are about the most common artists that we have in common.
Hey, Posty's got new music coming out, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
I think it's already out, but I don't think he's touring. He's got a son on the way.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Congratulations, Post Malone, if you're listening to this. Come to the podcast. But that's cool. So the thing that I told you about was a show that we went to in like October and November of last year, but I had plans originally. Did I have weekend passes? I think I had bought. Gosh, I don't even remember how the ticket situation worked, but I bought 2 tickets for 2 days, and someone else had the third, and then someone else backed out.
About this.
Yeah, someone else backed out, and then I bought the 3rd ticket. And when my girlfriend and I met, I was like, "Hey, I've got this festival that that I'm really intent on going to. Like, you don't have to go with me if you don't want to. I've got an extra ticket. I can either resell it or find someone else to go with me. And I asked her in like July or August. We met in July, I should say, and I asked her like within a month. And
just so you know, I take credit for that relationship.
Okay, valid. We can discuss that in a moment if you want. If you want to really go into the Tinder spiral.
No, because Tinder's fucking depressing.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever go back to Tinder because I got lucky, very lucky. But I asked her to go. She was cool with it. When I met her, she wasn't really like a.
She was normal.
Metal fan. Normal. I don't even want to say normal. She listened to like Bo. She listens to like Bo Burnham. Like, I mean, I don't know how normal that is, but she listens to like a lot of like meme stuff. I don't know if you can call it meme stuff.
Meme music.
Kind of, but so we went. I had booked a hotel room about 45 minutes away. And we went, and it was a lot of fun. Like I said, I got to see a lot of like bands that I didn't know that I wanted to see. We were really close to a bunch of pits. We were almost in like one of the biggest pits Incarceration ever had, because Attila performed at one of the secondary stages, and they got this whole big pit going around this tent that had all like the sound engineers in it, and it was really cool. The only thing that sucked about that was that I got like sick on the second night, during a day to remember. I had like one or two drinks, but I think the heat and everything got to me, so I was feeling like really ill during all of that. And I finished out the third day strong though, and she had she had class on Monday for college, so we were driving back Sunday night, like late Sunday night, and we got almost to the border, like the Indiana-Ohio border, and I was like about to pass out. I could not drive anymore, so we sat and slept in a rest stop for like 3 or 4 hours, and then drove all the way back. That was one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had. But we're going again this year, and since it's the summertime, we don't have to worry about being back at like a particular time. I may end up booking another day either before or after the event, just so that way there's enough time for us to get settled in or leave. But that's a lot of fun. I do think it'd be fun to try to find a show that you and I can both go to.
Harlow's coming to Chicago or Cincinnati, one of the two, in October. I think I go see that, but
I've never listened to Jack Harlow's music. What kind of is it in the same realm as Posty, or what kind of
same Drake.
Drake.
His new album is in the realm with Drake.
Okay, I haven't listened
There's a lot of conspiracy theory that Drake ghost wrote a lot of his songs on this new album.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if the audio's gonna pick up these sirens. That's awkward. No, that'd be cool. We'll find something. I mean, there's probably plenty of tours that are going to be announced still.
I'd we talked about when we went to that comedy show. I'd rather just go to a bunch of comedy shows than a music festival or a concert.
Yeah, there's plenty of good comedy shows and stuff that we can go to.
Because I can't be fucked singing for 4 hours. I'd rather go see a comedy special for an hour and a half and then drive home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always had a big passion for like music and stuff like that, so I'm a little biased, but I do like comedy shows a lot. I thought that Blaustein was fun. Oh, did I? I don't think I talked. Did I talk about the Felt Face show? I think I did.
No, you told me about it, but you didn't.
Oh.
I didn't know if you wound up actually going or not.
Yeah, so we after we had saw Blaustein, I was just looking at other stuff, and I saw that Randy Feltface and a Australian Muppeteer was coming to our the capital of our state or whatever, and I was like, oh my, I guess I could just say Indy, and I was like, oh my god, I want to go, and I asked Riley, and just like work schedule stuff, he couldn't make it. So my girlfriend and I went, and it was really funny because I didn't expect him to do any crowd work, but he did. And of course, it's since he's a Muppeteer, like there's the guys under the table and everything like that. And
isn't that just a ventriloquist?
the ventriloquist is like Jeff Dunham. Like you can see, Jeff Dunham interacts with his puppets. Randy Feltface is supposed to be like his own entity, I think.
Oh.
So the guy was under the table, but right at the beginning of his set, like he pushed the table too far forward, and we were sitting on like, where we were sitting with like the booths and stuff like that. We were sitting, if you looked straight at the stage, but like went at like a 90-degree angle right or 45-degree angle right, we were sitting at one of those chairs like closer to the front. And so we could see the guy behind the table, and he was standing on like the front padding of his feet that whole show. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy has the strongest feet I've ever seen on a person in my life. I'm so impressed. But that was a fun show. I just think that like you mentioned, comedy shows are really fun to go to. And I'd like to do more. So
yeah, I want to see Trevor. Trevor's taking a break because he just finished his theater tour, but hopefully he comes to Indy so we can go see him.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I've seen more and more of his sketch comedy on like TikTok and like Stiff Socks clips. So,
his stuff that he posted to his YouTube, I kind of can't watch it anymore because it's listening to the podcast and all of them. His sketch comedy and his comedy that is in the podcast and his stand-up clips are completely different.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's different types of comedy. Like, it's...
Yeah.
So I understand. But that would be a really cool show to go to.
Yeah.
Let me see. What else did I have? Well, I guess while we're on the subject of... what was I even going to say? Well, I was going to say, what would be one song, right, since we're on the subject of music, what would be one song you would use to describe your music taste? Just to people who would be tuning in, they don't really, because I mentioned, you mentioned you like Posty and stuff like that, and I mentioned like some metal. What would be like one song or artist that would accurately describe it?
It depends on my mood.
You can go into your mood music if you want one song per mood or whatever you want to do.
Like, there's a song,
yeah, there's a song. There's a few of those. Fun fact.
I'm trying to decide how I want to say this.
Do you need a second to think about it, or?
So I have my sad boy playlist, and then I have my normal playlist that has majority of my music on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just been listening to a lot of TikTok music here recently. Like, if I'm down bad and think that I have nobody, there's a song called "Me and My Brother." Unfortunately, it's about him and his best friend, but his best friend has passed away.
Ooh.
So it kind of doesn't really help, but it reminds me every time I listen to it that I'm not alone. I always have you, no matter what.
Oh my god, this gets real sentimental, bro. I'm gonna cry. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, then I got Beethoven by Ken Dog, Good Morning Tokyo by Tokyo's Revenge.
I thought you were just gonna say Beethoven and that was it, like your classical music guy.
Fuck no.
It's like, I listened to the 4th Symphony. Oh god.
Drip Like Me by Ken Dog, Suicide Thoughts by Josh A. and I Am Jake Hill, and a lot of Jack Harlow right now, because his new album's fire.
Yeah, you haven't had like a ton of like phases through music, I've noticed.
Nah, when I was probably my primary three genres of music is when I'm sad, it's fucking country music, which I
Okay.
think that's for where we live. That's common.
Pretty much.
Um, then when I'm feeling nostalgia and want to relive my childhood, it's rock and roll,
Okay. Okay.
Hinder, Motley Crue, people like them. And then if I'm just sitting there trying to get through work at night and I need something to keep me awake, I just play R&B, hip hop, and stuff like that, like Jack Harlow. And I don't listen to much Drake anymore. I haven't really in a while. Speak.
What's
Trying
up?
to think. I'm
Oh.
trying to think if there's any others that I really listen to. I mean, if I want to relive like good times that you and I have, I go and listen to Logic.
Yeah, I always think
Like
about
I
like.
connect with certain people with the genre of music I listen to.
Oh,
Like
I
your and
respect.
I's go to is Logic. Every time we're in the car together, it's Logic.
Basically, yeah.
Unless it's a long drive like the last one we were on, you're playing your music. I was watching TikToks for the hour drive.
Yeah. I respect that.
But a little. I'll let you answer this, and I got a topic off the top of this.
All right. Um. So I mean, kind of off of the same basis. Different moods do dictate different kinds of music. Typically, I stick within a genre for a while. As far
He's
as
a Blink 182 fanboy.
I was big into Blink in high school. When I met them in like 2019, which I never will forget. So like pop punk was a big genre that I fell into. I did listen to some metal like in middle school. Like I started listening to like the AMD Affliction with the people that I hung out with, and that's what started like because I've always had like a small metal phase, but I've just had a primary focus in like pop punk, and then, the last few years it's turned into a big metalcore, slowly into deathcore, with like Lorna Shore and stuff like that. Have you heard of Lorna Shore? Like, and their
Nope.
vocalist, their their vocalist's name is unironically Will, and he has the most insane vocal range like I have ever seen. He like with metal, I think it's super impressive because of the way that a lot of vocalists have ranges, and especially when you hear them talk normally, like Ryan Kirby of Fit for a King, he sounds like the most innocent, humble person on the planet. And then when you listen to one of their songs like Backbreaker, he sounds like a just like a screaming giant. Like it sounds so good. But yeah, like Blink 182 was. It took a lot of like both like the sad boy and like the hype parts for a while. Metal was what I fell into for a lot of sad stuff, and then in most recent years, it's been like.
You want to explain how you fell into metal for your sad experiences? Because I don't understand that.
Well, like so. The first metal band I really ever listened to was called the AMD Affliction, and if you didn't know, and I could be getting this fact wrong, so allegedly, Australia has a really high like suicide rate in certain parts of the country,
Mm-hmm.
and like whether it's actual suicides or it's like overdoses or drug use and stuff like that, and the some of the artists in the band have had people that they've known that have committed suicide or had that OD and stuff like that. And so a lot of their first album I ever listened to, the basis of it was about just like someone who had taken their life and how it's not all that grandeur, like it's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wasn't like down that bad, but I just really like the how hard it went. It makes me metal just makes me feel energized. It makes me feel like I could take on the world. But in recent years, my like sad boy stuff has been like Suicide Boys and Lil Peep, and like NF. God, I love Lil Peep. Rest in peace, a legend.
Which is ironic considering who introduced you to him.
Yeah, we'll leave that there.
Yeah.
A lot of my like rap, like sad rap music, came from someone else. But nowadays I listen to still metalcore. There's a female vocalist in a band called Spirit Box that they're gonna be at Ink, and I'm super excited. I keep calling her my metal wife, and my girlfriend gets so mad. It's really funny. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say other than I just listen to like right now it's like Motionless in White, Knocked Loose, Fit for a King, Spirit Box, and then like I still listen to like hard rock, so Breaking Benjamin, 10 Years, Seether. I basically listen to a lot of dad rock and metal. So yeah, do you want to introduce your topic? What do you got?
So speaking of like Little Peep and X or rappers that are no longer with us, have you watched the X documentary on Hulu?
I did not. I don't have Hulu. When did it come out?
I would sometime in May. I don't remember exactly.
You have you seen it? I take it since you're bringing it up, or
hang on, give me a sec.
No, you're good. I did listen to some X, or I was introduced to X through Lil Peep and the song that they did for the bonus track. I don't know much about him, so I don't want to speak on him, but it seemed like he was a pretty down to earth guy.
I mean, he has his flaws just like everybody else.
Yeah. Of course.
But it truly showed the person he was. That he was trying to show right before he was killed.
Which was what? Is it like a spoiler?
I don't want to spoiler it because it's a very good documentary and I would recommend watching even if you don't know who he is.
Okay. Like I said, I don't have Hulu at the moment, but if
I can give you my password and username later and you can watch it.
God, you're talking about sharing passwords. I take it you know that like Netflix was on a downward spiral because of how they were cracking down on password sharing.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that Stranger Things season 4 is gonna like save them?
Well, I just finished it this morning.
Oh well, I don't. I don't. No spoilers for the love of God. I just finished episode 1 today.
Just so you know, they're all about an hour and 15 minutes long until you get to the last episode in volume 1 when it's an hour and 45 minutes long.
Yeah, I knew that they were like insanely long, which I think is really cool.
And my thought process is, yeah, it's really cool, but this entire volume 1 could have been season 4. And they could have done volume 2 as season 5.
Well, if you think about it, with Disney's Marvel shows and the way that they're structured and the budgets that they're being given, like Netflix had to step it up, especially for Stranger Things being like their one big thing that people actually like. Like they had to step it up. I mean, so
I don't know if you watched it, but a TV show on Netflix I would recommend is the ranch on the it's called The Ranch. It's got
I know what you're talking about
in it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about because it's got the actor who plays Hyde from that '70s show also. Speaking, did you know they're doing a reboot? I assume you maybe did, since I think you liked that '70s show, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they're doing a reboot, and I don't think he's in it. I think he's had some like legal stuff come up in the last year or two, so maybe they just don't want him attached to the project. But I know a lot of the main cast is coming back. Not I don't think Topher Grace is.
That's depressing.
But I mean, it'll still be good. Maybe, I don't know. I like the show. I wasn't like a super mega ultra fan or anything like that, but I think it's pretty cool. The two shows I've been watching that aren't anime is Better Call Saul. Which, have you watched Breaking Bad?
I've tried. I couldn't get into it.
God, we should. I think if we watched it together, you might like it. I love Breaking Bad. It's really Better Call Saul has like the same formula, kind of. It's like slow. It's a slow burn. That I assume the last season's gonna have this like big build up, and it's all gonna kind of blow out. But it's so good. Breaking Bad is one of my top 3 TV shows. Also, Obi-Wan came out. I know you're not like a huge Star Wars guy, but
yeah, my
God.
dad's watching it.
It's so good. Oh my gosh, I love Ewan McGregor. He's one of my favorite actors, like from Doctor Sleep, which I haven't seen, but like I've heard he's really good in it. He was in that Christopher Robin movie. Like he played like an older Christopher Robin.
Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah. And that's another funny topic we can talk about in a second. And then he did something else too. I don't know if he did the voice of... I think he did the voice of Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars too. Which was epic style. But on the subject of Winnie the Pooh, we're just jumping everywhere. You guys are getting a lot of content in this. Did you see the Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
Yes, I want it to actually be a thing.
It is.
I want it to ruin my childhood.
So do you know what
I want it to touch me deep down inside like a youth pastor would.
Oh, do you know what like public domain is? Like, do you know anything about it?
No.
So the reason that Winnie the Pooh movie is actually being made is because after so many years, a copyright kind of just doesn't work anymore. So
yeah,
Winnie the Pooh just like this year, last year went into public domain, and that's how they're able to make that movie. Which is, I'm excited for it. It's gonna be some trash movie, but it's gonna be so good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like good bad, and I'm really excited for it. Is there any movies that you're looking forward to that are coming out?
Top Gun that came out last weekend.
Top Gun. I didn't know you were a Top Gun fan. You like Tom Cruise, huh? You're a Tom Cruise kind of guy.
There was another one. Hang on, I was just looking at showing times for that movie a few minutes ago.
I can't think
of look at movies out right now.
I can't think of any. I saw Multiverse of Madness, and that was really the one that I wanted to see. Oh, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, that for sure.
That one, I think, either you and I and my girlfriend should go see it. It'd be really cool. It looks really good. I love that Russell Crowe plays Zeus. I think that's so funny for some reason.
Speaking of that movie, have you seen the teaser trailer for it?
There's like a trailer out for it now.
Yeah, but when Thor is no longer Fat Thor and he's in that cloak thing.
Mm-hmm. And he flicks it off. He's like, "You flick too hard."
And he flicks it. You flick too hard, and then all the women start fainting. Bro, I died.
So you're
watching that.
Are you saying that Thor's hung?
No, they died because of how ripped he... Or they didn't die. They fainted because of how ripped he was, not how hung he is.
I mean...
He's Australian, of course he's hung.
Well, technically he's not in Thor, but I don't think like in the movie they're like, "Oh, I love Thor, my favorite Australian."
Yes, they are. Don't ruin Thor for me like that, you asshole.
No, that's Korg. Korg is the Australian one. He's got the accent. The rock guy.
Yeah, but I'm talking about...
You just mean Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth as a person.
Yeah, but don't get the actor confused with the character. You know, like you can't do that. You're gonna rile up a whole fandom doing that.
Yeah, you're right.
Gosh, I hate fandoms a lot. Because that just kind of reminded me back to like the Obi-Wan show. Apparently one of the Inquisitors is African American, and her actress has been getting a lot of hate online for some reason. So like it's really sad when like the actors have to come out and like defend them. Not defend themselves, but like Ewan McGregor came out and was like, "Guys, like why are we doing this? Like this is stupid. Like we should be better than this." It's just really sad. Yeah. But It's just the world we live in. We live in a crazy world, man. Did you, not to dampen the mood, but did you know in the last 7 days there's been 16 mass shootings in the U.S.? Like,
Way to kill the fucking mood.
I'm just like, it's just a crazy fact. Like, it's just unbelievable. And someone, and I don't mean to like keep it down here, but somebody like, cause I game with some people like occasionally, and we were hanging out in a Discord call after they got off work at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and he didn't want to show it on his stream, but he showed it to me on Discord. Apparently, you remember the supermarket shooting in Buffalo?
No, I heard about it. I didn't read much into it.
I mean,
yeah.
I didn't either, but I guess the guy Twitch streamed it. Like,
yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
I did not know that. He showed me that, and I was gasping the whole time. It's kind of funny because they say like video games like desensitize people, and they just make them seem like these husks of human beings. But I watched that, and my stomach turned. Like, I was in like shock. I couldn't believe that I was actually watching like real life. It was crazy, but yeah, I hate this country. That's all I wanted to say. Did you figure out any other things you wanted to go see, movie wise?
No, I kind of got distracted with something else I'm doing as well. But yeah, nah, I think Love of Thunder was the only other one really that I wanted to see, and then to tie off that games that I wanted, both of mine got postponed.
Oh,
Son of the Forest got postponed, or I'm having a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Moved back, and then that one that was supposed to come out on my birthday this year also got moved to next fucking year.
I think that as long as the game is good and it is polished, that I'm okay with some stuff like that. You know, like I don't know how you feel about it, but. Because I know you were looking forward to those games. I was too. Sons of the Forest looks really good, but I think if they need more time to finish and polish the game, then they should take it. I'm a big fan of like waiting for a better game than I am. Oh my gosh! Speaking of a better game, Modern Warfare 2.
Nope, I'm not buying it. Don't even bother asking me.
I am buying it. I don't care what you say. I'm blinded by nostalgia. L plus ratio. I am so excited because I really liked Modern Warfare 2019.
When does it come out?
They're releasing the worldwide reveal is on the 8th of this month, and then it's supposed to come out in October, I think.
Alright, so in October, guys, we'll let you know how many keyboards Will's broken because he downloaded another COD.
I haven't, dude. The last COD I played was Cold War, and Vanguard just looks so awful, and Warzone is awful, and I think that like the only good Call of Duty game since Black Ops 3 has been Modern Warfare 2019. Black Ops 4 was okay, but Black Ops 3.
Bro, in my opinion, and this is a very niche opinion because a lot of people hated this Call of Duty, but I've not liked a COD since Advanced Warfare.
Really? Do you want to divulge into that? Because I didn't think Advanced Warfare was terrible.
Because I found it hilarious that to my recollection, it's it was the first Call of Duty that they had voice actors that were celebrities, but this is the first one, I believe, that they put an actual actor in a game, being Kevin Spacey.
I think so too.
In the story.
I unless
I love the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, that's the first game really that they introduced an exosuit that wasn't fucking overpowered as shit.
Well, it was a whole new movement set is what they introduced. Yeah. It wasn't just like they were introducing a new like kill streak or something like that. It was a whole move set.
Yeah, and it did a lot for the game because, as you can see, I'm pretty sure those moves are still in.
They haven't had a exosuit Call of Duty game since either Black Ops 4 or Infinite Warfare. I don't remember which one. It's been boots on the ground since, but it just hasn't felt right since. Like, Modern Warfare 2019 was really good, but it just really hasn't felt right since like Black Ops 2 and like Modern Warfare 3. There's a lot more. So here's also another opinion that I don't know how many people would agree with me or not. I think that we should go back to like a paid DLC route like they used to, where they would drop like 4 multiplayer maps and like a new gun or two with like a zombie map. Like when Black Ops 2 did that, like their maps were all intricately designed and they were all really unique and fun to play. The zombies was a lot more of a intuitive experience, you might say. Like, I mean, we got some of the best zombies out of Black Ops 2. But nowadays, like with the seasons roadmap and stuff like that, it just like we get one new map a season, and the zombies is god awful, and they bring things like Godzilla and Kong into Warzone, and they look like literal fuzzy potatoes. Like I just don't get it. I don't get why I don't get why people keep playing into it. Like I understand that if people like it, you're allowed to like what you like, but like objectively, like things have went in the wrong direction, I think, when it came to Call of Duty. But they're just such like a behemoth of a game franchise, right? They've been going for over 20 years. Same with Halo Infinite. I mean, Halo Infinite was trash. God. I'm gonna go on a game tangent, but that's why I haven't been playing like many of like AAA titles. I mean, I'm replaying Red Dead again, because Red Dead is one of the.
Let's Take Two though.
Well,
isn't it?
Well, Red Dead's Rockstar still. They're AAA. They're considered AAA.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, I think Take-Two's the publisher, right? So
yeah, I thought they were Rockstar. My bad.
I think they're one. I think Take-Two. Either is
the joke went over your head.
Oh,
never mind.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I didn't know there was a joke to be made there, to be honest.
You said they were whatever, and I said, no, they're Rockstar.
Oh, okay. He's trying to pull old switcheroo on me. But, yeah, that's why, I don't know, Elden Ring, I think, sets the precedent for AAA games for the next generation, I hope. I will say on the last note of my video game tangent that the Sonic Frontiers gameplay overlook came out, and it looks like a tech demo, and I really hope that it gets polished out before they release it before the holidays this year. I know like you're not like a big Sonic fan or you don't play many Sonic games, but
I don't play the games. The movies are. I watched Sonic 2 the other night, and it was fucking great.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. I guess I have to add that to my watch list. Is there? Do you want to throw one last topic in the ring and then we'll call it? I feel like I haven't given you a chance to throw anything you want to talk about in.
Not really. We could hit him with some would you rather's if you want.
We can do a few, sure. I mean, I will also say real quick, if there's any questions that you guys want answered, you can leave them in the comments, or maybe when we make our Patreon, if you want to submit questions there, we'll probably just make like question threads for the month and do it that way. But you have a few would you rathers that you would like to boggle our brains with?
Yeah, make sure you leave a comment if you think Will should join me in GTRP, since there was so many of you that was interested in it last episode.
Okay.
Because I've been trying to get him to do it for months, if not years. And I'm trying to get him set up in it because I'm pretty high in the city, and I could get him set up, and then I think he could reach some new boundaries streaming-wise if he were to stream it even once or twice a week. Doesn't have to be the only game he streams, but
yeah, it just depends, because with my stream schedule right now, I've already got my plate full, but I wouldn't mind to play it if it was something that would want to be seen. So leave a comment. But you can go ahead with your would you rathers.
Would you rather have $1 million or $1 million that you can telepathically control?
$1 million? What? What would you do with $1 million you could control?
Rob banks.
How would you rob banks with ducks? How does that work? They just walk in with a gun and they're like, money now.
They never said how big the ducks were, though.
Oh, you're finding loopholes. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Robbing banks with ducks. Is that in like GTA 6? Is it just leaked?
Yeah. Would you would you rather have an astrology daughter or an NFT son? I really don't know what that means, but it's kind of funny.
For what do you mean? For which part? The astrology or the NFT?
The NFT son, because it's not real. It's something you can sell. So ideally, you're selling a person.
Well, no, it means like beliefs, like, you know, astrology is like, you know, the people that believe in star signs and stuff, and NFT son would just be someone who like sells and haggles
It'd
NFTs.
Be Logan Paul. I'd rather have an NFT son because he'd be fucking rich.
No, I'd rather have an astrology daughter, because at least I don't know, I just don't think that I would rather have an NFT son. I would strangle him before it's over with. I don't like NFTs. I mean, I already have an astrology girlfriend, so I think I have an idea on... Well, not necessarily an astrology girlfriend. I don't want to throw her under the bus like that.
Yikes.
But, moving on.
If you had to choose of pick the world's laziest job that makes the most living, is it watching and like if you were to choose the job that is the laziest job but makes the most money, right?
Okay, so
which would you rather it be? I know your answer and I know mine answer because it's obvious.
Okay.
Is it watching and rating movies, standing in line for hours, which I don't really know how that's a job, but whatever. Maybe holidays, I don't know.
If you get paid to stand in line for somebody, yeah.
Or video games.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's an easy answer. Video games.
Yeah.
You want to do one more, and then we'll wrap it?
No. I want to end it on... I told you Johnny Depp would win.
Oh, yeah. Current events, baby. Johnny Depp won the trial. Oh, my God. Amber Turd is no more.
Fuck Amber Turd.
No,
she's still a human, but...
I mean...
At the end of the day...
She'll never forget the day that she almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow. And that is going to end the Two Bros podcast for today. Thank you guys for tuning in if you made it this far. Again, check out Riley and I's socials. We'll put our Twitches down below. I have a Twitter. I don't know if you want me to put your Twitter there since you don't use it.
Not just my Twitch. Probably once I get all that figured out. I'm in the process of still figuring that out.
Yeah, and I'll put my Twitch and my Twitter down below. I'll put his Twitch down below as well. Highly recommend you go check us both out if you want some solo content of different varieties. We're hoping to get back on a weekly consistent schedule with this. As long as I can edit this out and get it out on time. And do you have any closing remarks before we send her off?
Fuck Amber Turd.
Fuck Amber Turd. Alright, everybody. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Toodles.